Hello, everyone. I'm Dear Myrtle, your friend in genealogy, but you know that this channel's all about creating journals to tell one family story with one artifact at a time. This time I have a very old book, 34,000 medical words, that belonged, as you can see, wiser. I think she wrote it again here. Wiser. Wiser. Myrtle Wiser is my grandmother, Myrtle. My father's, wow, very fragile here. My father's mother. And let's see when this was published. This is the 6th edition, published in 1913. Okay, so here's the problem. First of all, the book's falling apart, and I do not want to touch it any more than I have to. But I would like to preserve this for my grandchildren to know the story about Myrtle Wiser and the fact that she went to St. Mark's nursing school. Here it is, her class picture, I think. She's on the end here. St. Mark's Hospital nurses, 1915. So this is the right time period. And this is St. Mark's 2 generations ago, 2 buildings ago. And this is a picture of her that's a little bit easier to see, where her hair is worn the same way in the front. This was known as her engagement picture. All right, so I know that I want to use these components. The trouble is, I don't want this to get bumped around in the old steamer trunk as people are moving things in and out to look at them. So I was going to make a very hard-covered journal. And when I was looking for paper, I ran across this journal that I made when all I was doing was practicing the creation of spines. This was a different way to create a spine. And so I decided to take out some of the middle pages so that I can very carefully, once I've wrapped this in acid-free tissue paper, place the book in here, and then it will be well protected from anything else in the old steamer trunk. We'll have to use sari silk to wrap around it, I'm quite sure. So I had to remove some of the pages of the spine because I need to have space to put this medical journal in. Let me put this carefully over here. And when I did, there was some little remnant of paper left. So I'm going to fill it with this little strip. Let's get our art glitter glue here. And there we go. Now this art glitter glue does dry acid-free. And the paper I'm using is acid-free. However, the ink on it, I do not believe, I don't know that it's acid-free. So rather than putting the book in here on its own, I have to wrap it in lignin-free, acid-free tissue paper as a separation between these papers and that old leather book. Okay. So this will be a space for me to put the title page. The book is going to go in here. A couple other things that I want to do. That would look nice there, although they might not see it. I like it on this page. I also would like to round the corners on this a little bit, so we'll go ahead and do that. See what we can come up with here. I just think it looks friendlier to have the edges rounded, the corners rounded rather. This is that crocodile that I love so much. Okay, so I'm planning to put this here. Then on the back side, we're going to put, we'll have to put the nurses, I don't think, oh, it will. It will barely fit. It won't fit there. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put the nurses there, and then there's one other thing that I want to do. Remember how every time I do a journal, I want the grandchildren to know how they are related to this person, the subject of the journal. And so I need to make a little pocket to put that in, that little tag. So we'll be putting the pocket there. I think I'll use some of my acid-free Ranger vintage and kind of just darken the edges just slightly because I printed this on cardstock. And I got to tell you, I think that this cardstock is several layers, and I don't want it to look white. I don't necessarily want it to look that old, but there we go. There, I'm pleased with that. So I'm going to put this here. May as well do it. And about all I have left to do then is to tell the story. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I need to do what Wendy always has us do, and that is hold the pocket where you do not want to put the glue. Now, let me wipe away that glue. If I put glue across the top, we won't be able to put a tag in there, will we? Come on, old Myrt. I almost always have to cheer myself along to do the right thing when it comes to journal making. I mean, there's a very few right or wrongs here, and that's one of them, is you have to be able to put your item in there. Now, I'm probably going to cut this one down a little, just a little. So I'm going to mark it as to where I'd like the rows to be there. So I'm going to make it narrower and only this tall. All right, so when I come back, I'm going to show you the journal as if you are one of my grandchildren exploring the old steamer trunk that has all kinds of interesting artifacts up there now. You know, the little redheaded girl came to visit last Friday now that Mr. Myrt and I have had our COVID shots and have gone through the waiting period. Man, it was so fun to see her and to play with her. And she's the only grandkid that has seen the old steamer trunk. All right, nothing left to say, but I'm Dear Myrtle, your friend in genealogy. Happy family tree climbing and journal making, everybody. That's a wrap.